What's up, YouTube? This is Elijah here, and let me welcome you to another video from the UberLifestyle.com, your one-stop shop for all things rideshare, customer, passenger, and driver alike. This is going to be part 2 or the 7-part video series on how to be a pro Uber Eats driver, right? In this video, we're going to be covering the Ubereats algorithm, what is it and how it works, acceptance rates, cancellation rates, satisfaction rates, and wait time. Now, first thing we want to know is that Uber Eats, the acceptance rate works different from UberX. A lot of us, we come from UberX first, and we decide, you know what, let me go ahead and tack on Uber Eats deliveries. Now, with UberX, no matter how many times you reject the request, you'll still be on the platform. You can get put in a 10 or 15 minute timeout if you reject too many of them in a row, but you'll still be on the platform after 10 minutes pass. Turn that app on, get back to making your money. But with Uber Eats, if you keep rejecting requests, they're gonna stop sending them to you, or you won't be on the platform. Obviously, that's not what you want. So there's a magic number, and that number is 80%. Okay, you want to stay, no lower than 80%. Now, with that being said, don't let 80% freak you out. Like when you get approaching 80%, they'll have that little exclamation mark. Don't let it freak you out, okay? That's just saying don't drop below 80%. Well, after that, that's when, it starts creating problems. Rightfully so, because, not so many drivers are accepting the orders. Restaurants have to wait longer, customers have to wait longer. I get why that's in place, but don't let that freak you out, because there are times where it's just not practical. You need to not accept it. And let's go into those times right now. Now, times that you might want to not accept that request. Let's say you're driving and it's literally in the complete opposite direction. You might want to think about maybe just go ahead and letting that slide, especially if it's during a certain time of day. Traffic is hell, might be a little difficult to make a U. Maybe it's better to just let that slide, especially when it's in combination with reason number 2. What if it's too far away? Request says like 15, 17 minutes away, and you got to go the completely opposite direction. You got to kind of consider, hey, maybe I should let that slide. Now, later in the video series, I'm going to cover how you can tell what the restaurant is going to. And if you evaluate this as a restaurant or an area maybe you don't necessarily want to be in, and what I mean by that is, it might be in an area where it'll take you away from where you want to be at. Let's say you're heading to a spot where it's a whole bunch of restaurants, because it's going to keep you in a certain area and just have you go opposite direction. Maybe it's just better to go ahead and let it pass. Those are a few reasons you might want to let a request slide, and if you don't take it, obviously your acceptance rate will go a little lower. And remember, if you're trying to reposition yourself or go to a spot of restaurants, sometimes it might be better to just turn the app off, then turn it back on when you get to where you want to be. Because while it's on, you could always get a request that might take you where you don't want to go. So keep that in mind. Next, cancellations. Now, the cancellation rate is pretty similar to UberX, maybe even a little higher, but based on the situation, it needs to be higher. But keep it under 20%. Preferably, I keep it around 10%. And obviously, you would like to avoid canceling in general, because not only does it waste potentially the restaurant's time and the customer's time, it may waste your time too. So you might want to avoid canceling in most cases, but there are some cases where if you don't cancel, you're losing money because you're wasting time. And we're going to cover those circumstances now. Now, when it goes to cancellation, what I really like about Uber Eats is technically doing any process of the order, you can cancel. On the way to the restaurant, when you get to the restaurant, when you get to the customer's place, you can cancel at any time. That's good to know. But like I said, you got to know when it's appropriate and when it's not. And let's cover before we get to the restaurant when it's maybe in your best interest. Let's say you accept the request, it might be super far away, and you've identified that where you're going isn't going to be worth it. You might want to go ahead and cancel that. And you know, the cancellation screen will pop up, what's the reason? Click too far away. Because sometimes it might not be worth it. I mean, you might determine that it's not worth it based on certain circumstances, and it's so far away. Let's say it's like 4 miles away. You might just want to go ahead and cancel that. So the first reason. Second reason is when you get to the restaurant. Get to the restaurant, everything is cool, but there is nowhere to park. This isn't as much of a deal in suburbs, but in big cities it actually could be an issue, especially for new restaurant partners. They're naive. They think that, oh yeah, we'll sign up with Uber Eats and make some additional money. Yeah, that's cute and all, but they don't actually think about the drivers and us actually accepting that. Because if there's nowhere to park, or you're spending 10-15 minutes looking for somewhere to park, or you got to park like 2 miles away, you might just want to cancel. Because you'll find out later in the video series how to determine if that ride is going to be worth it. Because sometimes you went to hell to park and pick it up, but it's going like 10 or 12 miles away. It might be worth it. We'll be able to tell that later in the video series. But off the principle, if it's taking too long to park or whatever, just go ahead and cancel. Because at the end of the day, restaurants have the power to reserve a spot for to-go drivers or people picking up food. I mean, a good example is Uber Eats and McDonald's. They struck a deal, and now in a lot of places, you see a spot for Uber Eats drivers to park. That is a perfect example. And restaurants have more than enough power to reserve at least one spot for that. So if too many of us cancel, they'll probably learn their lesson. So if you can't find nowhere to park, don't hesitate to cancel, okay? Unless, you know, you're getting above 20%, but for the most part, don't hesitate, just go ahead and cancel. Especially during certain times of the day, you'll be able to pick up another request pretty fast. Now, I will say that you might want to go offline for a few minutes, because the last thing you want is to potentially get a request from that restaurant again. It's not likely, but I would still go offline for a few minutes and reposition myself. So, moving on. Let's talk about cancellations after you pick up the order. Now, generally speaking, if you need to cancel, it's gonna basically be you couldn't get in touch with the customer and they're not answering the door. In which case, a screen will pop up, which you can see now saying that you try and contact such and such, did they answer. You click that and Uber's gonna notify them via phone that, hey, driver's try to contact you, he's gonna leave in 5 minutes, or he or she's gonna leave in 5 minutes. Then if they still don't contact you, you'll still be paid for the order, and they'll say go ahead and cancel. And as I understand it, that particular cancellation will not count towards your cancellation rate, in the sense it's not going to go against you. So that's the main time you want to cancel afterwards. But I will say this, one thing that's kind of I don't like about that is you have to call them, and some people might consider being called annoying. When you think about it, the Uber experience in general is a completely speechless action, and people love that. Basically, they just order food and it comes to them, bam. If they have to talk, they might consider it So I would try my best to avoid actually talking to them until I'm in front of them. Hey, shout time, here's your food, bam. But to counter that, you always want to text them first. But what you don't want to do is text them when you get there, because then you got to wait for them to respond. The more you're waiting, the more it's cutting into your earnings, because you could be you could be finished with this order, getting the ping and on to your next order, okay? So, how do you handle that? You can do it in 2 ways. You can do both of them or just one. Once you pick up the order from the restaurant, you text the person saying that, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm your Uber Eats driver, I'm heading towards your location, see you in a few minutes. Now, you can send that, right before you drive off. That's number one. Number two is when you're about 5 minutes away, text them again saying that, hey, I'm about 5 minutes out, I'll see you in a few minutes. Now, you can skip number 1 and just do 2, or you can skip 2 and just do 1. But I recommend you do one of them. That way, if you do need to call them, you did text them first. And the person's psyched, they're thinking, oh, well, they did text me first, and I didn't text back, so whatever. Now, I say that because we'll be covering the satisfaction rate in a few minutes, but if you call every customer, if they consider it annoying, it could affect it, or it might affect your chances of getting a tip. So, handle it like that. Now, I'm not recommending texting and driving. What you want to do is pre-type this message in your phone, save it in your clipboard, and then paste it when you need to. So when you're 5 minutes out, you literally just paste it and send, okay? People already can't drive, right? Don't make situations even more risky than they have to. Don't text and drive, plus it's against the law. Just handle it like I said, everything runs smoothly. That's all it is about cancellation. It's pretty basic. Like I said, if you can, you want to try and avoid it in general, but sometimes you got to cancel. Wait time. Another time you might want to cancel, and we are going back to cancel, but they go hand in hand, is if you're waiting too long at a restaurant. What is too long? That's up to you to determine. It also depends on your area. For me, it's very rare this happens, but if it's longer than 20 minutes, especially if it's during a busy time of the day, you need to cancel and go ahead and move on. But Uber pays you a wait time fee as long as you let them know after you do the delivery. Via the support system, you pull it up, email Uber. When I say email, I don't mean pull up Yahoo email. I mean through the app, you send them a message, specifically say you waited longer than 15 minutes for this delivery. That's key, because once you wait longer than 15 minutes, that's when they're going to reimburse you. So once that happens, it'll take maybe, they'll get back to you probably within 24 hours. Then they'll reimburse you $5. So you get $5 plus whatever tip the person gave you, plus the actual order itself. So you want to make sure you do that, because veteran Uber drivers, Ubereats drivers, they know that. But people getting started, they don't. So if you wait longer than 15 minutes, be sure to do that. As soon as you get to a restaurant, that's when the timer should start. So either mentally clock in when you got to the restaurant, or you can start a little timer on your phone, whichever one works for you. The point is, if it goes past 15 minutes, let Uber know so you're compensated for it, okay? Plus, you're doing your fellow Ubereats driver a favor, because if too many of us do that, it's cutting into Uber's profits, and then they're gonna let the restaurant know, look, our partners are waiting too long. You need to step your game up in time when you press that button better. So you're doing all of us a favor when you do that, in addition to yourself. So please get reimbursed for that wait time, okay? Very important. Now, like I said, if you want to cancel, I generally don't cancel once I get to a restaurant. I'll just go ahead and get paid the wait time fee. But you gotta evaluate, is it gonna be worth the time to wait? You know you're gonna be guaranteed the $5 wait time fee. And you know you're gonna be guaranteed at least minimum fare based on the restaurant. So maybe $4. So that's $9 guaranteed. Is it worth waiting for 40 minutes? No. So after, let's say 20 minutes, I would go ahead and cancel. But it's very rare that happens. Just go ahead and have a number in mind. And that's gonna be a number averaging in your area. But regardless what you decide, make sure you always do the wait time fee thing, because you're doing all of us a favor. Okay, next we're gonna cover the satisfaction rate. Now, to me, this is pretty goofy. I know they want to have a reason to say, hey, you need to step it up, you need to get off the platform. But to me, I think the feedback system is better. You'll be getting feedback from your riders, customers, if there's an issue, based on professionalism. Was there food damage? Were you rude, etc.? And that should be the feedback system in terms of measuring the quality of driving. This satisfaction rate is kind of goofy to me. But we're gonna cover it. basically, you got to maintain a 85% satisfaction rate. And what contributes to your satisfaction rate? As soon as you complete a Uber Eats delivery, the customer, the next time they get on the app, that's important to remember, it's the next time they get on the app, they're going to be asked to rate you and if they want to tip you. They're going to give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. They give you a thumbs down, then their Uber Eats is going to ask why, and that's where the feedback system kicks in. Now, they might not give a particular reason, but you know what? Like I said, I think the whole thing is pretty dorky. Now, your satisfaction rate is the average of those two thumbs up and thumbs down. Now, you want to make sure it's above 85%, but I'm going to be honest. If you're taking care of your business, you're being polite, not swerving in traffic so the food's not all over the place, satisfaction rate's going to be fine. Don't stress over it. It's not like UberX, because a lot of people, they freaking hate the UberX rating system. It's not as critical as that, so don't sweat it, right? Now, the things that affect your satisfaction rate being high are the same things that are going to encourage higher tips. So, keeping a high satisfaction rate is going to go in line with getting higher tips, okay? So, if anything, do it for the tips. The satisfaction rate, handling your business is going to be taken care of. But we're covering it because you need to know about it, because it is a basic feature. Okay? If for some reason you're struggling with it, we'll cover some things you can do later, just some basics right now. Insulated bag, I mean, we covered that in the first video, and if you haven't seen that, make sure you go and watch it, because this video series is cumulative, so stuff I'll be talking about is dependent on you watching the previous videos. But insulated bag, smile when you handle the food, don't drive all over the place, don't swerve the bag all over the place so the food's, etc. Satisfaction will be fine. I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of time on there because it's not really that important. All right, moving on to the Uber Eats algorithm, how it works. We're gonna pull up the Uber Eats customer app for this. Okay. Now, basically, the Uber Eats algorithm works different from UberX. UberX is based on your acceptance rate and how close you are. With Uber Eats, and this is important to know, it's based on time and destination. Very important. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. You see on the screen, when we're on the customer app, it gives a time limit on where the food is guaranteed, how long it's going to be, all right? So let's say it's guaranteed 30 minutes. John places an order, and I'm going to be the driver, okay? So John places the order at 5:30. The Uber Eats algorithm is putting the pieces together to make sure they get the order to 6 o'clock, or as close as they can to 6 o'clock. So the restaurant takes 15 minutes to get the food ready, okay? When it hits the 10-minute mark, food's almost ready, but they say, yeah, let's go ahead and call for a driver. They press that button, the ping goes out. The algorithm is gonna pull someone that is around 15 or 20 minutes away. It's gonna try them first, because guess what? Timing everything just right, it wants you to get their food just in time. That means you can be right outside the restaurant. Let's say Jane, she's an Uber Eats driver. She could be right outside the restaurant, but I'm 15 minutes away. I'm closer to hitting that promised time, so it's gonna pull me instead. I know, that's pretty weird, right? Overall, it's not, but you need to know that, that's important. Now, can Jane still get picked? Yes, she can, but I'm gonna be giving the request priority over her. Very different from UberX. And based on what I told you, I see why they designed it that way, but you really need to know that, because in the next video, we're gonna be talking about hotspots. And that is very important when we talk about hotspots, because that's gonna determine where is a hotspot gonna be at. It's gonna be based on that algorithm. It may not be as simple as just kicking your feet up where there's a whole bunch of restaurants, but we'll save that for the later video. That covers it for the Uber Eats algorithm. Now, like I said, we'll go into details on how to pimp that algorithm. Maybe wrong word. How to use that algorithm to your advantage in part 3, okay? So that covers it for this video. If you have any questions, go to the uberlifestyle.com, click on the Uber Eats section, or comment below. This is Elijah. Peace out. Until the next time.